Hey friend, this is Jeric G, ang nagmamaranang yung friend, and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, another tutorial content na naman tayo. So kung ikaw ay interested, keep on watching. So, disclaimer lang guys, hindi pa po ako CPA. So, anything na sasabihin ko or ituturo ko in this video is based only on my understanding, based only on what I have learned during my undergrad and even during on my self-study. So, kung sa tingin mo mayroon ako nasabing concept na hindi tama, nagmamarunong ko pa sa nagmamarunong ng friend. Lecturer lang, feel free to comment kasi wala naman tayo ibang gustong mangyari dito but to help every accounting students and aspiring CPAs na ma-master ang bawat concept para ma-achieve nila ang goal nila, which is to become a certified public accountant.
Kanina pinag-usapan natin yung taxation, and taxation is kumbaga power, system, and ngayon, let's talk about the subject of the taxation, which is the taxes. So, ano nga ba itong taxes na ito? So these are the enforced proportional contributions from persons and property levied by the state by virtue of its sovereignty for the support of the government and for all its public needs. So, in order to better understand the definition of one word, ang pinakamagandang gawin natin is chap-chapin natin. Taxes daw are enforced, ibig sabihin mandatory. Hindi mo pwedeng tanggihan, hindi mo pwedeng takasan, enforce siya. And proportional contributions. Diyan papasok ang progressive tax system. Kung gaano kalaki yung income mo, ganun kalaki ang magiging taxes mo. From persons and property. So these are the subject of taxation. Pwedeng tao, pwedeng property. Levied by the state. So ibig sabihin ito ay exercised by the legislative branch of the government by virtue of its sovereignty. It means the inherent power of taxation for the support of the government and for all its public needs. So this is the purpose, to support kung ano yung mga gagastusin ng ating government nang makaperform sila ng kanilang functions. So what are the elements of a valid tax? So the elements of a valid tax first is must not violate the constitutional, inherent, and or contractual limitation of the power of taxation. Next is must be uniform and equitable, not unjust, excessive, oppressive, confiscatory, or discriminatory. Must be for a public purpose. Must be levied by the taxing power having jurisdiction over the object of taxation. Must be proportionate in character and generally payable in money. Those are the elements of the valid tax. Now let's proceed with the different classification of taxes. Diba? So iba-ibang tax yung binabayaran natin. Ngayon, yun yung pag-uusapan natin. Baka may naguguluhan ko, nakabayad na ako nakaraan ng ganitong tax, may babayaran na naman ako sa ganitong buwan. So maraming classification of taxes sa Pilipinas. So alamin natin. So according to subject matter, so number 1 is personal capitation or poll tax. So this is the fixed amount imposed upon persons of a certain class without regard to property, trade, business, or occupation. So ibig sabihin, being a person, may tax pala tayo. So an example noon, the occupation tax. O yung pwede rin yung professional tax, pagiging professional mo. Next is the property tax. From the word property, diba? This is tax imposed on property whether real or personal in proportion either to its value or in accordance with some other reasonable method of apportionment. So, property. Example nito is the real property tax. And lastly, the excise tax. This is tax imposed upon the performance of an act, the exercise of a right, or the engaging in business or profession. Example nito is income tax. Yung excise tax, ito yung privilege mo na makapag-earn ng income, makapag-gawa ng isang trabaho, diba? Makapag-exercise ng isang right mo. Example niyan, income tax. The next classification is according to who bears the burden of tax. So, una, the direct tax. The liability for the tax or the impact of taxation and the burden thereof or the incidence of taxation fall on the same taxpayer. So, kung sino yung may liability, siya rin yung magbabayad. Example is the income tax. Siyempre, ikaw yung nag-earn yan, ikaw rin yung magbayad ng tax niyan. The next one, on the other hand, is the indirect tax. The liability or impact for the tax falls on the original taxpayer, but the burden or incidence thereof is shifted to another. So, pwedeng ikaw yung may utang, pwede mong ilipat o i-shift yung liability sa ibang tao. And yung ibang tao na yun, yun yung magbabayad. And usually, ito yung nangyayari sa value added tax or sa VAT. The next one is according to purpose. So general or revenue tax, ito yung levied without a specific o predetermined purpose. So ito yung mga example is income tax, VAT, yan. While the special tax, ito yung levied for a special purpose. Example, protective tariffs, special assessment, yan. The next one is according to the rate applied. The first one is proportional. A tax based on a fixed percentage of the tax base. Example is VAT. Next is progressive. The tax rate increases as the tax base increases. Example nito is the income tax on individuals under graduated rates. And the last one is the regressive. The tax rate decreases as the tax base increases. And walang example nun, hindi siya pwede sa Pilipinas. The next one is according to determination of the amount of tax. First one is specific, measured by number or based on weight or physical measurement. Example nito is excise tax on petroleum products. Next is ad valorem, based on the value of the property and may require the intervention of assessors and appraisers. Example is real property tax. So sa specific, meron kang basihan. There is a number, there is a physical or weight measurement. At yun yung, kung alam ba, kilogram, liter, yan. Yan yung mga basis noon. Ang ad valorem naman is sa value na provide ng third persons. Those are the classifications of the taxes. So, at least ngayon, alam nyo na pwedeng magbayad ka ng tax kahit nakabayad ka na sa isang tax. Kasi nga, marami tayong classification of taxes sa Pilipinas. And ngayon, alamin natin, ano nga ba ang sources ng ating tax laws? Saan ba naiisip ng BR? Saan ba binabase ng ating Congress yung paggawa nila ng ating tax laws? The first one is the 1987 Constitution. And this is the top one na sources ng ating tax law. Next doon is the tax statutes. Next is the executive orders on taxation and local tax ordinance. Next is tax treaties and conventions with foreign countries. Next is judicial decision. Next is rules and regulations promulgated by the Department of Finance, the Bureau of Internal Regulations, Bureau of Customs, and administrative interpretations and opinions of tax officials, particularly those of the Commissioner of Internal Revenues. So, this is rank according to the priority. So, yung nauna is the 1987 Constitution. So, halimbawa, nagka-conflict between the Constitution and the executive orders, ang babasahan natin is the 1987 Constitution. And next one is, okay, this is the most interesting topic kasi There are ways naman pala to escape from paying taxes. So, what are those? So, unang-una is shifting the burden of the tax. Ito na yun, yung sa kanina, sa indirect tax. Diba? So, i-shift daw yung burden of the tax. So, ikaw yung may liability, pero iba yung magbabayad. And the common example nito is the value-added tax. Next is the capitalization. By not selling the property which has increased in value, the owner avoids the income tax to be paid on the gain if the same is sold. An increase in the value of an asset is merely an unrealized increase or gain in capital. So, syempre yung property natin, as the time goes by, tumataas yung value niyan. And para maiwasan mong magbayad ng capital gains tax, yung owner daw, hindi niya muna ibebenta yung kanyang property. So, dahil hindi niya pa nabenta, so unrealized gain pa lang 'yon. And sa tax, on the point of view of tax, the unrealized gain is not recognized. Next is transformation. The manufacturer or producer upon whom the tax has been imposed, fearing the loss of his market if he should add the tax to the price, pays the tax. He then endeavors to recoup the tax paid by making his production more efficient and lowering his cost of production. Dito naman itong transformation, ito yung dahil nga tumaas yung tax at ayaw niya na sa pagtaas ng tax, tataasan niya rin yung price ng kanyang product. And kapag tinaasan niya yung price ng kanyang product, may possibility na kukonti ang kanyang market o kukonti ang bibili sa kanya. So, ang ginawa niya, diba? Dinamihan niya, siya nagbayad ng tax. Tapos, kung laman, halimbawa sa noodles, pinaliit nila yung laman ng noodles, diba? Pero, hindi naman masyadong tumaas yung bayad natin, diba? Hindi naman tumaas masyado yung presyo nun. So, that's the transformation. Next is the tax exemption. So, tax exemption. So, exemption from taxation is the freedom from the burden of paying tax. So, being exempted from paying tax is a privilege, and since pag exempted ka sa tax, nababawasan yung sources ng income ng ating government. So, kung sino yung mag-a-avail ng tax exemption, nasa sayo ang burden na i-prove na qualified ka for tax exemption. Next is tax avoidance. The tax avoidance occurs when the means used to minimize taxes are legal and not prohibited by law. So, ang tax avoidance or tax minimization, ito yung pinapaliit mo yung babayaran mong tax using legal means. Bawa, yung mga deductions, na-avail mo yun. Yung mga special deductions, na-avail mo yun. So, this is the legal means. Next is the tax evasion. Ito naman yung tax evasion connoted fraud due to the use of pretense and forbidden devices to lessen or defeat taxes. So, ang tax evasion naman, illegal or fraudulent act. Kung saan gusto mo talagang hindi magbayad ng taxes. Diba? So, minsan, hindi mo dinideclare yung totoo mong income. And sometimes, natitrace naman to ng BIR. Magagaling yung mga BIR natin. Na-assess nila, nalalaman nila, and later on, napapabayad nila yung mga nagta-tax evade. At the same time, nagiging nakakasuhan pa sila for tax evasion. And that's the general principles of taxation. I hope na kahit pa paano meron kayo natutunan with this topic. So,
and that's it. I hope na nakatulong na naman itong tutorial content ko sa inyo. So if you find this video helpful, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like and share this video para marami pang accounting students at aspiring CPAs ang matuto sa konseptong ito. Thank you and see you on my next Nagmamarunong na Vids. Bye!